Minions are a huge part of Hypixel Skyblock, as free, passive income without much required thinking is welcomed by every Skyblock player. However, with the constant talk about the best minion or the fastest minions in the game, a lot of early to mid game players tend to struggle picking good minions that are within their budget. The progression between your first cobblestone minion all the way up to your 29 maxed out tier 11 fishing minions can be quite confusing for the average Skyblock player, so I've compiled everything you need to know about minion progression in today's video. But before we get started, if you have any further questions, comments, or suggestions about this video, feel free to visit me when I'm live over on my Twitch streams. I stream every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The links are down in the description below. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so before we get started with all the minion progression tips that I have for you guys in today's video, the first thing that I want to cover is that if you're an early or mid-game player and you're looking to get yourself some minions or get started in this game, lots of this information is not super relevant, as the first thing that you should be doing when you start this game is to get as many minion slots as possible, and the easiest way to do this is by going ahead and then unlocking every single collection that you possibly can, get every single minion for each collection that you can possibly get, and then try and reach level 4 on every single minion. As you can see, I've got tier 11 for most of them because I've maxed out my minion slots, but if you get tier 4 minions on every single one that you can possibly get your hands on, then you should be able to get around 15 minion slots to start off with, and you can use these minion slots to place down all the minions I'll be talking about in today's video, and then you can make money, then you can get some collections as well, and you're going to be able to profit a lot in the long run. Another quick thing that I want to mention to get out of the way at the beginning of the video here is that a lot of the stuff that I'll be covering in today's video is going to be solely based on money, the best money making minions, not necessarily for collections or whatever. As an early to mid game player, you should focus for collections as well, but I would say you should go with money making minions to start with, get some coins, use those coins to level up some minions and also get some better minion slots, buy some minion upgrades as well, and then you can go for collections and get your collections maxed out to get all the recipes in the game and get stacked off of that. So now we have all that important information out of the way, let's get started with the early game minions you should get. The first minion that I'm going to cover here is going to be the Lapis minion. Now I would try and get as many Lapis minions as you can, considering that you've done what I said and you have around 15 minion slots. Try to max them all out with Lapis minions and get them to around tier 4, or if you can, tier 7. Tier 7 is the sweet spot for most minions, and it's like a good balance between storage, but a good balance between how fast the minions are as well, and usually tier 7 minions are not very costly either, so I definitely recommend getting your hands on some of these and placing them down as well. Now the reason why I say that Lapis minions are a great choice for early game players is because Lapis is very easy to obtain, as you guys may know. You get the stuff from the deep caverns just mining in the Lapis caves. It's like the first one that you can reach after the gunpowder mines, and as you can see if we open up the bazaar here, they sell for a pretty good amount of money. Now granted, Derpy is going to get elected very soon here, and this special mayor does boost skill XP, so people do want to hit enchanting 50 and other skills leveled up as well. But Lapis usually stays around like the 500 to 1000 coin mark from what I know, and because Lapis minions have a very quick interaction speed, mine is maxed out here and it says it's got an 18-second interaction speed. They're able to produce quite a lot of materials, because when you mine one lapis block, it drops around 4 to 8 lapis, I want to say. It doesn't actually just drop one lapis at a time. You can make a lot of money with this, and then you can pair it with a diamond spreading as well to get even more money from all the diamonds that you collect, and all of this is relatively cheap to get. The diamond spreading is no more than like 1,000 coins if you just buy one off the auction house or if you craft one as well. And if you pair this with the budget hopper, which is also a very cheap item, it only costs 5 enchanted iron, as you can see, and then just a regular chest. And then the next thing you can do is just get your hands on a compactor. These are also like 7 to 9,000 coins. They're very, very cheap. So overall, a setup for one Lapis minion should be very cheap to get. And if you let them AFK for about 2 to 5 days or so, they just collect some money on the budget hoppers. The compactor does a little bit of work, and the diamonds also do a pretty good amount of work. You should get enough money to get as many Lapis minions as you can possibly get. Max out your minion slots and get as much money as possible so you can move on to the mid-game type minions. Now before I tell you guys what minions you should go for in the mid-game stages of this game, I just want to make a very important note here that all the money that you earn from minions should be reinvested back into minions. Whether that be minion slots, minion upgrades, new minions, better minions, whatever the case may be, always reinvest your money back into minions, because when you do this, you'll be able to get even more money from all the minions, and then you'll be able to earn so much to the point where you've maxed out your minion slots, you've reached sort of end game before you're even in endgame, and then you could use all of this passive income to your advantage and make a ton of money. With that out of the way, considering you've done what I've said, you've gotten your Lapis minions, you've earned a pretty solid amount of money from them, and you've also probably got some collections out of those as well. The next step I suggest you do is you pick either one of these two minions. You can either go with the claim minions, which are very easy to get, they're super cheap, you can max them out to tier 11 as fast as possible, and they work very, very well. Or you can go with Magma Cube minions, which will make you a little bit more money, they're also relatively cheap to max out as well. However, you do have to AFK Magma minions, and I did showcase the money and the profits that you do earn from them in a separate video, which I will leave a link to down in the description below. So let's just say that you decide to choose the claim minions for this part of the game. The reason why I say that claim minions are so worth getting is because, as you can see, the interaction speed is pretty fast on them. They have a 16-second interaction speed, but claim minions, also like the Lapis minions, produce more than one clay ball per interaction, and as a result of this, the diamond spreading that you can use on them does have a chance to proc more than once per clay ball mined, and not necessarily per interaction. So because of this, you're able to get a lot more diamonds, a lot more clay, and all this sells for a lot of money at the NPCs. You don't have to sell to the bazaar, and there's no taxes involved. And you also get fishing XP, and fishing XP is very hard to level up, and as a mid-game player, you should be trying to get as much fishing XP as possible, so you could fish up Emperors, maybe even fish up Yetis in the long run, and also get some of the spooky festival mobs. However, let's just say that you don't want claim minions, you want to go with the Magma Cube minions because you care a lot more about getting money, and money is more of a valuable asset to you. Well, in that case, I would go with Magma Cube minions. Like I said, these are also pretty cheap to get, and they're pretty easy to max out. When I say max out, I mean get them to about tier 7, because tier 11 isn't really worth it. I have a tier 11 one right here because I was getting that for the minion slots, and it was one of my cheaper minions to get. But if you pair the Magma Cube minion with 2 minion expanders, it does make the interaction speed a little bit faster on them, and you could set up an AFK farm designed for the Magma Cube minions, and then all the Magma Cubes will die faster when you AFK the machine, and you can get all the Magma Cream from the chests, make a lot more money than the claim minions. And you also get a little bit of combat XP from claiming the minions if there's anything to actually claim inside them. So Magma Cube minions are a better choice for money, but I would say that clay has a lot more versatility, especially for a mid-game player, and that, in my opinion, can be more important. Once you've reached this sort of mid-game stage of this game, you should have around 15 to 20 minion slots depending on how many you decide to purchase. I would have reinvested a lot of this money back into minions like I said before, but I'd also invest it on buying super compactors, as these are going to help you out a ton. As you can see, we have left these clay minions for a while now. I think they've been collecting resources for about 3 to 4 days now, and without the super compactor, it wouldn't have been able to turn all of the clay into enchanted clay, and it also wouldn't have been able to turn these diamonds into enchanted diamonds, which you do obtain from the diamond spreadings. Now, I wouldn't suggest getting an enchanted lava bucket just yet. I will get to that a little bit later on in the video. However, getting these super compactors are very important. Try to get as many of them as possible for all of your minions you have. Even if you're using Magma Cube minions, if you ever want to swap them out for collection minions or something else, super compactors are going to come in very, very handy. So now we've covered all of the early game and mid game options for any player who does play Hypixel Skyblock. Moving on to all of the late to end game options, I would highly suggest getting your hands on snow minions. As you can see, we have a lot of them placed down right here, and we've also got a few of them placed up there on the second minion platform. But for these snow minions, the reason why I say you should get them is because they're very cheap to max out. Once again, all of these snow minions that I have placed down are tier 11, and they have a lot of resources generated, as you can see. But if you look closely there, the time between actions is 5.2 seconds. Now, this is with the enchanted lava bucket. I believe it's 6.5 seconds regularly. But as a late game player, you should be able to get your hands on some enchanted lava buckets by this stage. You should have had already gotten some super compactors, and of course the diamond spreadings. Those are pretty much negligible when it comes to the cost. But you should have around 22 to 24 minion slots at this stage in the game, and a lot of the money that you do earn from the minions should have gone into the bank to get some bank interest, and also just towards even more minions, getting more upgrades, maxing them out, and doing as much as you can with them. Now, I do have a couple of alternative options, as you can see here in my inventory, instead of using snow minions. But another reason why I say you should use snow minions over a lot of other minions is because all these snow blocks, diamonds, snowballs that you do get from these minions do give you mining XP. And just like fishing XP, mining XP is very hard to get. It does take a lot of effort to farm it, and it is quite tedious for most people. So if you get minions like these snow minions here, you can pretty much cheese mining. I think I'm like mining 34, as you can see, and most of this is all off of snow minions. So I highly recommend that you do try this option out. It's very worth it. It is a little bit pricier, which is the reason why I put this in the end game category, but it's definitely worth it, and these minions all pay off the original price of them very quickly. But like I said, I do have some other alternatives to snow minions. I would recommend trying out tarantula minions if you do want to try an AFK farm. Just like the magma cube minions here, tarantula minions make a lot of money. Tarantula in particular makes way more money than any of the minions in this video, with many million coins earned after 24 hours, as I did test this also in another video, the same one that I will leave a link to in the description below. But once again, it requires an AFK mob setup, so if you don't like AFKing or you don't have the resources to AFK, then you shouldn't go with tarantula minions, as AFKing them is the only reason why they're super powerful. But if you also want to try out a fishing XP minion, you could just go with the normal fishing minions. If you get these to tier 9, not tier 11, those are way too expensive. This is slightly better than the tier 7 minions, as they are quicker and they have a little bit more storage, I believe, as well. So they will earn more money than the tier 7 ones, or just more money than a lot of other minions in general. But like the snow minions, they are a lot pricier to get. Getting one tier 9 fishing minion is very expensive, which is why, once again, I put it in the late to end game category. Now, just before we end off the video here, I've got a couple of quick disclaimers to make before I end the video. Now, all the minion slots that I talked about in today's video do not include community hall minion slots. You can get minion slot upgrades from Elizabeth in the community hall, and I've actually maxed all of these out as well on my main profile. But to keep things relatively simple, I only talked about the collection minion slots, which are the ones you can buy your way through, and you can progress through them with all the money that these minions do earn. But I also want to go back to that investing type idea that I mentioned briefly at the beginning of the video, and that's that all of the money you do get from these minions should be invested back into minions. The tip that I would give to many early game and mid game players is to make sure you do not spend any of this money on cool items like armor, weapons, or whatever it is, because if you do this, you won't be able to earn that back. It's going to go into some items that, while they are useful, aren't going to help you progress further into the game as easily. So if you reinvest all of it back into the minions, you get your items, you level them up as well, you buy more minion slots, you should be able to make a lot more money passively. And once you get to sort of like a mid to late game stage, just like I have with all of my minions over there, my 29 snow minions and also some of those clay minions, that's where you can put some of the money these minions earn into other items, buying armor, weapons, pets, whatever the case may be. But I would highly recommend you spend all of your money from minions either to put in your bank for the interest or to upgrade more minions, get more minion slots, just like I've mentioned throughout this video. But with all of that being said, that's going to cover all minion progression that you need to know if you're going to be playing Hypixel Skyblock. If you did find this video informative or useful in some way, please do leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel, because I do make Hypixel Skyblock videos every Wednesdays and Fridays. And also, if you got any further questions, comments, or you want to suggest another video or idea that I should make, be sure to visit me live over my Twitch streams. I stream every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The links are down in the description below. But all that being said, guys, hopefully you all did enjoy this video, and as always, take care and peace.
Fuck you. Now a shadow assassin shit.
Okay. What? Don't tell me you got a chest plate.
What?
Oh.